Happy Friday. I hope you're having a great week. And as it comes to an end, I hope it's been, everything you've wanted it to be. And if not, the day is still young and we still have another day tomorrow. So I'm still sharing my meditation, my journal moments about assignments, and today I want to share about a passage in the Bible from Ecclesiastes 3:11, where it says, God makes everything beautiful in its time. And hashtag beautiful. In sign language, beautiful is, to tell someone you're beautiful is like you are beautiful. So you are beautiful. That's an affirmation for you today. And if you're a guy, you are handsome. I don't know if that's still the sign language or sign. I'll research. So the thing about the passage from Ecclesiastes 3:11, I'm going to butcher that book, but I'll try to just pronounce it properly. I guess it's not a verse, it's not a book we mention in everyday life. So when you come out and say it, sometimes you say it wrong. So it's like a complex word. So so when you think about it, Ecclesiastes 3 actually talks about the times and seasons of our lives. There's a time to plant, there is a time to harvest, there's a time to sleep, there's a time to be alert. I think I've made that up, but it talks about the times and seasons. And it's very interesting that right after is when we have that verse about God making everything beautiful in its time. And the thing about that is, sometimes when you're reading verses, in your spirit, they are in parts and bits, but not the whole, even the whole verse, leave alone the chapter. So for this one, it actually has, it's a whole section, and talks about quite a number of things. And so let me just read it. Ecclesiastes 3:11. He has made everything beautiful and appropriate in its time. He has also planted eternity, which is a sense of divine purpose in the human heart. It's a mysterious longing which nothing under the sun can satisfy except God. Yet man can't find out or comprehend or grasp what God has done, in brackets, his overall plan, from beginning to the end. And let me just go through it again. He has made everything beautiful and appropriate in its time. He has planted eternity, in brackets, a sense of divine purpose in the human heart. He's created a mysterious longing which nothing under the sun can satisfy except God. Yet man can't find out, comprehend, or grasp what God has done, in brackets, his overall plan, from beginning to the end. So the thing about that passage is, after it talks about God making everything beautiful in its time, it talks about him planting eternity in our hearts. And I'm imagining, when you're planting, especially if it's God planting, I'm sure he's cultivated the land, he's put manure, he's found the best seeds, and for sure whatever he's going to plant is going to be fantabulous. So if he's planted eternity in our hearts, it means that deep down, we know how things will unfold to some extent, because there are outlines and guidelines, and as we gravitate towards him, he continues to reveal how to navigate through and how to walk through those outlines and guidelines and paths. But now the interesting thing, as you go down that passage, there's a but, that even though there is a proper outline and there's a way that you will know how God has planned out your life, you won't know it in its entirety. You won't know it from beginning to end. And you know, most times when someone is asked like what superpower you'd want to have, most people say they'd want to know how their lives would unfold. I'm not sure if I'd want to know because I don't know, it would actually make you live either, I don't think I'd want to know. Maybe I'd want a superpower to just fly through traffic. But anyway, back to Ecclesiastes. So yeah, God has planted eternity in our hearts, and that's so great that when you follow his perfect will, you will know in your knower. You will definitely know that if that is where I'm supposed to go. I don't know exactly the destination, but this is the journey, and you'll follow it in his perfect will. So I think that's what I wanted to say. But also at the end, you know, there's a beauty in knowing that God has our back. God knows our lives from beginning to end, even if we don't know. And because he created us, it's his perfect will. We just need to align to that will. Yeah. And as a way to finish, there's a movie that I got to see at some point this month. It's called Unsung Hero. If you know your contemporary gospel bands, you'd know For King and Country. If you don't know, go look them up. I think the last maybe few years I have not only been a big fan, but their music has made me grow spiritually, has made me learn, has made me reflect on very specific issues, even issues around mental health. And you know, music is about hymns, songs, and spiritual. Music has to have a lot of components. It's not just about, you know, listening to crank, as much as gospel crank is dope, but has to have that sort of, you know, needs to leave you with something. So yeah, back to their movie. This is, I think, their second movie, Unsung Hero, and it's like dedicated to their mother, and it was released on Mother's Day. So the thing about Unsung Hero, when I watched it, my eyes bawled out. I cried, and I was quote unquote in a public place. So I didn't like, you know, it's either you cry and you're not really crying, but you know, tears are flowing, and you're there with your tissue and just, So I'd like to end with I don't know if it's a short story, but a review of a movie, a Christian movie I watched sometime this month. It's called Unsung Hero, and it's from the band For King and Country. And if you've not come across them, their music is really something. Hymns, songs that are spiritual, some are about social issues, but I've followed their story over the years, and their music has made me, you know, grow spiritually, gotten me through some interesting seasons, made me reflect about very specific issues such as mental health, inspired my writing, Yeah, so for King and Country is a dope band. And it's, you know, a duo, two brothers. And I don't know how old you are, but if you know Rebecca St. James, that's their big sister. So Unsung Hero is their second movie, did very well. I think it won an award at Dove Awards. And yeah, it's actually a biopic about their story, how they moved from Australia to America with their father. And you know, like, it's a big family, big family. I don't know if they're 8 or 9. So you know, the movie just illustrates how they moved. And this is definitely a spoiler, so if you don't want to watch the film, I don't know if to tell you to stop here, but I'll try not to spoil too much. But yeah, I'll just talk about one scene in the film. I think it's the turning point of the film, and it's their sister Rebecca St. James. You know, she became a big artist, I think, in the way back when. And like the story, because it's a biopic and it's about the family and their lives and how everything unfolded over time for them to be like, you know, the big band today. And you know, they run the business as a family mostly. So the scene is Rebecca was, the dad was a music producer, would organize events for Christian artists, and I think he was a promoter. I hope I'm not getting so many things wrong, but yeah, he used to promote and, you know, book gigs for musicians. So even when they went to America for the first time, he had this big deal, which unfortunately fell through. And when it fell through, he was trying to get things together, and then there was a discovery that Rebecca, the oldest daughter, could sing. And the thing is, she could sing really well, like really powerfully when no one is watching. But when you put her like on the spotlight, the glow goes, the confidence goes, like the music goes. And it was like, I think it was very frustrating for the father, because like he'd book her sessions with a producer, and when they go to you know, to do the demo, she'll fail flat. Yeah, so the dad went through, like, the story Unsung Hero is about the mother, but also it's a lot about their father, who actually goes on them to date. He's like an old guy, but he goes to tours with his boys and the family and everybody who's working in the business. And before every show on tour, he's there like pastor, preaches, they do meditations, etc. Yeah, I'm a fan, so I know a lot of details. So yeah, as the movie unfolded, there's now this one time, a lot of obstacles, and they finally got in front of a really major producer, and they were performing at a church. Actually, Rebecca St. James was performing at this church, and yeah, the song was "He Makes Everything Beautiful." I'm going to link it in the description. And yeah, sang that song, and everybody in that church, like, you know, just a small audience, the producer, the family, and a few people too were there, a small listening party. And then the brothers, Luke and Joel, were like, you know, this tiny, they were backup singers. And even, like, you know, how they became, for King and Country became big, is because they started as backup singers for their sister Rebecca St. James. And yeah, they just wowed the producer. And then one of the brothers who does lighting and production for them had a camcorder, like, throughout the time they were in America, and was recording different scenes, and had managed to cue in some interesting pictures and scenes in relation to that song. And yeah, the song is called He Makes Everything Beautiful in Its Time. And it's such a powerful song in relation to the message today. And yeah, even when I think of Folk and Country as an example, I'm like, they really hustled to be the band they are today. They really hustled, and in the fullness of time, God really gave them their heart desires. And the thing also about God making everything beautiful, it doesn't mean that there won't be some ugliness in life. Life is full of potholes. But the thing is, He will give you grace to get out of those potholes. So yeah, once again, God will make everything beautiful in its time. He's planted eternity in your heart. So just katu rada, so that you can see the outline and the guideline for how your life is supposed to transform. And then, even though you may not know the overall plan, and you will never know, it's not in your place, in our place, to know the overall plan, just know God's got your back. And yeah, so have a lovely Friday, rest of day, have a nice weekend. Yeah, I'll see you back here another time, another day. Ciao.